today, and welcome all to the webinar. We'll be doing today the part 3 webinar of internships made easy with QuestionPro. So the part 3 basically will be covering reports and managed data. So before starting, I would just like to mention I have my colleague Tripti as well along with me doing this webinar. So you can see a chat window on the right hand side. If you have any questions, you can just type in your questions on the chat window and we will definitely be answering all your questions. We also will be unmuting some of you people. If you have any questions, you can simply raise your hand or just type in your questions into the chat window and we'll take care of this, right? All right, so we'll get started. So, right, so I believe most of you must have already attended the part 1 and part 2 webinar that we had conducted last week and the week before that. So what we covered in the part 1 webinar and the part 2 webinar is like we gave you an overview on what market research is and how is it important and how you people being the management students, what importance market research has in your curriculum and in your future endeavors as well. So we mostly will be focusing on primary data collection. So we also thrown some light on how QuestionPro is going to be your research partner. So QuestionPro basically, as you all know, is an online service software company and will be helping you people in the primary data collection and analysis of the data. So we have already got into an association with your institute and have set up your QuestionPro accounts, which you can use in your research activities. In the part 1, we covered how to design a survey. So we have more than 40 question types that you can use in your surveys, how these question types can be used, how the questions can be edited, how the answer options can be edited, how you can play around with the settings, look and feel of the surveys, etc. In the second part, we covered survey logic. So what all logic you can use into your surveys to make your survey smarter. And then we also covered distributing the surveys, like what all mediums can be used to maximize the reach of your surveys, how you can increase the sample size, how you can gather more and more responses. And today we'll be covering, once we have collected all the data, what can we do with the software with all this collected data. So we'll be covering the reporting part. So QuestionPro basically has a comprehensive reporting module that can be used to analyze whatever data that you have collected onto the platform. So we'll be covering like getting insights of all the data that you have collected, then what all types of reports that we have on QuestionPro, how to create these reports, and then how, if you're doing it in a team maybe, or if you want to share these reports with your supervisors or maybe your project guide or internal guide or external guide, etc. So how you can do this sharing of reports, and then how can you manage the collected data, like how you can download the data, how you can play around with the data, etc. So I'll be covering everything today in this particular webinar. Guys, I'll put you on hold for a second. I can see a few questions coming in. I believe Tripti is already taking care of it. Great. Right, so this is what we will be covering today. I would also like to mention, you must already be you must be knowing about this particular thing, but then if we are not able to answer your questions during the webinar due to any reason, you can simply write to us on this particular email address, that is edu-india@questionpro.com. Whatever queries you have, queries related to your research project, queries related to designing of your service, distributing the service, analysis, etc. We will, someone from the team will definitely get back to you as soon as possible and help you with all the queries that you have. Right? So we'll quickly start. All right. Let me check. All right, so I'm already logged into the account. So I had prepared a survey for you people so that we can have a look at the reports. So you can see this is the survey that I've prepared, customer satisfaction, product sold to business. This was created. We can see the created date, the modified date, status of the survey, how many responses. So I currently have 201 responses. And then we have some action items, that is editing the survey, sending the survey reports, copy, and more. So before we start, I just wanted to speak to Tripti. Tripti, if you can hear me.
Yes, Tejas, please tell me.
Yeah, Tripti, so let's get started with the reports thing, or do you want, like, are there any attendees who have not attended the part one, part two? Like, should we give them an
So,
overview on designing us?
so I believe, Tejas, that people would have attended the part one and part two webinars. However, we were getting a few questions and of hands being raised. So probably before
Hmm.
starting, can we answer those because they were about part two
Sure,
webinar?
yeah.
Right. So we have
Right,
Sohit.
will.
I have Sohit with me. He wanted to ask a particular question. I'll just unmute him once. Right.
Sure.
Hi, Sohit. Are you able to hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
So if we
I'm
have
good. How are you?
Tejas today, yeah, I'm also good. We have Tejas today who is taking the webinar. So probably whatever questions you have, you were asking something about the text of predefined templates. You can ask to him right now.
Okay, okay. Hello?
Yeah, so like, you have any questions?
Yes, sir. Sir, I was going about the already created service because
Okay,
some questions which I thought of writing were already there in that survey. Just the
okay,
context is different. So I thought of
right.
modifying the text so that that context is related to my survey. But that was not possible over there. So could you please help me how to go about modifying the existing templates over there?
Absolutely. Now, see, now this particular survey which I've created is already a template that we have, and I've edited it. So what I'll do is, just to answer your query, what I'll do is I'll use this particular template, any random template, and I'll show you how to edit it. Would that be okay, Sohit?
Yes, sir.
Right. So see, uh, I clicked on create survey. You see all these options. There are these templates. So I use this template. If you just want to preview it, you can preview it clicking on this. I believe you have already done it, but then for the other attendees to have a look at it. So you can see this is the preview. I want to use this. I click on this, use this. You can see now this, just a moment. You can see now services provided to consumers. This survey has been created into your account. I'll just show it over here. I go back to reporting, like this is the folder that I've created. So you can see today, I created it today, right?
Right?
I click on this. This is the survey created. Now, if you wish to edit it, you can simply do inline editing over here. I believe this is what you're expecting, right? How to edit a particular survey, a template, right?
Yes, sir. And how about the
Right.
answers,
So, yeah. So you can do
questions and
inline editing. See, if I want to, like, right, how long have you been purchasing our products? I'll just, right, answer options as well. You can do inline editing. Like, it's quite user friendly. You can simply click on this. You can see I'm changing this. Can you see this?
I was
See,
actually
you
clicking
can,
on my button, but that was showing that your account is not upgraded, so you cannot do that.
you're clicking on what?
There was a customize option was there, to customize that I was clicking.
Okay, and you got like, what message did you get?
I got a message regarding that your account has not been upgraded for this.
So what we can do is, probably, like, we can help you with this. What we can do is, we will get in touch with you again separately. We'll have a look at your account, what exactly it is, right? And I'm not sure which option did you click on. You clicked on customize, you're saying, but we will probably we can speak separately. You can show us what option did you click on, and then we can help you with that. But this is how you use a template. I selected a template. Now you can see in question number 2, how often do you use our services, and there are no services listed over here, like option 1, option 2. So you will have to manually add your services over here, right?
Okay.
So you can simply do inline editing, right? If you want to add a question to this template, like for example, I'll do it over here, just a moment. Have you ever recommended us to others? After this, I want to add a NPS question, Net Promoter Score question. So I click on add question. See, it is very similar to a new survey that you build. Like if you have added a few questions, then after some time you again open that question, edit that. You can use the template in a similar way. So see, I want to use an NPS question over there. I select NPS question, and you can see now this particular question has been added after this question. So this is how you can use the templates. I believe I've answered your question. So uh, i- is it like,
Yes, sir.
have I answered your question? Like if you have any account specific query, we will connect with you separately. We will have your, if your account is not upgraded, we'll have it done and then you can start using it, right?
You see on your screen there is a option of preview, right? Above there.
Preview, right?
No, above this one on the right hand
Yeah,
side.
preview is a simple preview. Like this is the question. If you want to preview the question, you click on this.
No, I mean to say that the above preview tab was there and
Mhm.
similar tab was there next to the preview option above below tools over there. There
Oh,
above responses and tools are
he's referring to the main preview tab, Tejas. Yeah,
okay.
so
Okay, over there.
yeah, the main one, no,
So
blue colored button.
Yeah, yeah. So
So this is
preview.
customize
the preview of the entire survey, right?
yes, ma'am. What I'm saying is the customize button which I was clicking on is showing just next to this preview option in my account.
Acha. Oh,
We will have to take a look
yeah, we will have
at
to
your
take a
account then.
look at your account. Yeah.
So we probably maybe not tomorrow, or we will connect with you again on Monday, and we will have that thing sorted, or maybe, right?
And probably
Would
if,
that work?
yeah, and probably he can, so it's what you can do is you can mail us your survey ID on edu-india at questionpro.com and we will have a look at it on Monday first thing and we can get back to you and have it resolved.
Definitely, ma'am.
Right? All right. Yeah.
Right.
Tejas?
Any other questions, Trip?
Yeah. We just have two more questions being asked. I will just try and unmute these guys once. So I have
Yeah, sure.
Alok Kumar Chaudhary with me. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to unmute him. Okay. Alok, we are not able to unmute you for some reason. If you're able to hear me, please type in your question in the questions tab and we will take your question right away.
If Alok is attending it from his mobile, then he will have to unmute from his side. So,
Okay.
like Alok, if you can hear us, and if you are attending this particular session from a mobile, you can see an option to unmute yourself. So, if you can see that, you can click on that. Else, you can just type in your question in the chat window.
Right. In the meantime, I have Joy also asking a few questions. I'll just try and mute Joy.
Sure.
Hi, Joy.
Hi, ma'am.
Hi. Please tell us.
Yeah, yeah. For my survey, which is a telephonic one, I'm doing.
Hmm.
So in the previous sessions, I was suggested that I use the offline mobile app for taking the surveys, right?
Right.
So when I have installed the means app, and when I'm signing in, they are asking for a device key.
Right.
So from where will I get the device key?
See, right. Joy, I'm not sure if you attended the part 2 webinar, but we have covered this in the
Yes, sir.
part 2 webinar. See, when you log into your account, you can see a mobile tab over here. You
Yes.
click on mobile, right, and you can see the key over here. Either
Okay.
of
Okay.
these two,
Okay.
it must be, no, this is the key, I believe so. You'll have to key in this particular thing, and then you can start using the mobile app.
Okay. Okay. Thank
So
you, sir.
guys, like since your name is Joy, right? I'm so sorry.
Yes, sir.
Right, great. So since Joy has brought this thing up, Guys, what I would suggest you people is not to wait for a webinar or like you can obviously write to us on edu-india@questionpro.com. We will definitely get back to you with it. But let's not keep waiting for such a long time. What you can also do is you people are entitled to 24/7 technical support from us. So if you're stuck with anything, what you can do is you can go onto our website, that is questionpro.com, and you can see this icon on the right hand side bottom. It will appear shortly. So you can see an icon coming up over here. You click on this and you can get on an online chat. A support representative will be available 24/7 to help you with whatever queries that you have. So please make use of it. You are entitled to it. You can get on a chat, get your answers, queries answered. So in case of Joy, it was quite a simple thing. So if you could have got on an online chat,
Yes, sir.
somebody would have definitely guided you. Or what you can also do is, we have also mentioned it earlier, you can go to questionpro.com/help, and then you can look for a help file. So you should have a help file for mobile app as well. So I'll not search it for now, but then you can search for a help file and then get all these queries answered then and there itself. So I believe, Joy, I've answered your question. Tripti, if we have any other questions, like it's
So
7:53 already,
right,
so
right,
if you
right.
have
I
any questions,
just
we'll take them.
we'll take them later on. Right now, as such, we don't have any questions coming in. And regarding the part one and part two, for those of you who did not attend part one and part two, or probably have a certain queries on part one and part two topics, we'll take them later at the end of the webinar. And like we had mentioned in the mail as well, today is the part three. Like today, part three webinar will be covered, and we'll be done with part one, part two, part three. So we will be sharing a recorded version of all the three webinars with all of you, and you can have a look at them, and whatever your queries are, we'll always be available to answer them to you guys, right? So Tejas, let's begin with the webinar. It's already 8 o'clock. Right.
All right.
Yeah.
Thanks, Tripti. Thanks, Joy, and thanks, Rohit, for your questions. So we'll get started with the webinar. Right. So as I said, I've prepared this particular survey for you people, and I already have about 200 responses so that we can have a look at the reports. So these are the action items, as I mentioned earlier. So by clicking on this particular thing, reports, we can directly view the reports. But what I'll do is I'll just go into the survey. I'll show you how the survey looks like. So this is the survey that I've created. I have a header added as well. There are lot many questions so that we can have reports, all the reports covered. So there are about 15, 16 questions in this survey. There are multiple choice questions. There are text questions. There is matrix question. We have an NPS question as well. So this is the survey that I've created. I'll just show you a preview. This is the link. So if people want, what I'll do is, uh, just a moment. All right, I cannot find it. But Tripti, what I'll do is I'll just ping you this particular link. If you can paste it in the chat
Sure,
window,
sure,
if
Tejas.
people want
Right,
to
right.
answer, have a look at this particular thing.
Right, right, right.
Right. So Tripti will be sharing this link with you people. If you want to take the survey, you can take that. I'll just show you a preview. So this is how the survey looks like. Right. I'll just randomly select a few things. I'm doing this because I believe we will require a few more responses to have a look at some reports like the trend reports and all.
True,
So
true.
please hold on for a moment.
Yeah, I've shared the link with all of you guys on the chat window. If you could all just quickly, like Tejas is answering to the questions, if you could all just quickly answer to the survey, it will hardly take 1 minute of our time. And we will have actually a live, responses coming in, and reporting section will actually be very interesting to analyze then.
All right. So I added, like I responded to this particular survey. I've also done a few things with the thank you page. So you can see like, thank you for your valuable feedback. It will help us to serve you even better in the future. Your response has been saved and recorded with response ID. So this particular ID, I'll show you what exactly this ID is. So the respondent, like you can share the response ID with the respondent so that for further reference, they can share these things with you. And then I have a link as well, which I click on, I'll be redirected to a particular page, which somehow is not working. Let me see. All right, but then it will redirect you to the website that I had entered over there. So right, we'll get started. I just want to make sure that we are recording this video so that we can share the link with you people. Tripti, like, have we started the recording?
Yeah. Recording is being done.
Great.
No problem.
Great. Okay. Fine. So, right. So we had covered edit, send, and mobile earlier in part 1 and part 2 webinars. So we'll have a look at reports and manage data. So people, once you are into the survey, you can see these tabs, reports and manage data. So I'll go to reports first. So once you click on reports, this is where you will be redirected to. So there are a few options. We'll be covering all these things. So this is the dashboard. So dashboard of the report, like whatever data that you have collected, this is how the dashboard looks like. So I'll just take you through each and every option. So once you are on the dashboard, you can see a report link over here. So similar to the survey link that we have, we also have a dynamic link for reports. So if you want to share reports of a particular survey with somebody, as I mentioned earlier, if you want to share it with your team or maybe your internal project guide or external project guide, you can simply copy this link and share it with them. It can be done over text, it can be done over WhatsApp as well. If you want to share this particular report, like if you have done a survey on something which you want to, the report you want to share it on, say, Facebook, Twitter, or LinkedIn, you can see these options below. So just below the report link, you can see Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. You can also have a QR code. So you can have a QR code downloaded for this particular report. And then you can say paste it onto your website or somewhere, and people with a QR code scanner can just scan it and have a look at the report. So this is how you can share the report. There are a few options: download data and reports. So whatever data that you have collected, you can export it. There are a lot of options, but we'll be covering all these options under manage data as well. But this is a shortcut. So under reports, there is a shortcut to download data as well. So we'll be covering this under manage data. Right, then we have filtered data. Now, whatever data that you have collected to your survey, if you want to filter out the data, you can create your own filters. You can see over here, you can save filter. So currently, the filter by default is survey status, is on survey status and all. So like whoever has started the survey, whoever has completed the survey, or somebody has been terminated from the survey, all the results you can see in this particular report. If you want to create a filter on, say, a particular question. So I had a lot of questions, but I want to have a data for only, say, question number 4. So I can simply, you can see, like if the question is question number 4 and the answer option through a wholesaler is selected, right? So you can see this is loading up. Then whatever data is displayed would be only for the respondents who have answered the question number 4 as through a wholesaler. In this particular case, the survey is customer satisfaction product sold to a business, and this particular question is, where do you purchase our product from? So if you want to have a look at say, what respondents who are purchasing the product from a wholesaler have to say, you can simply set this filter. So you can also have additional filters created. You can see you can have an and or logic. So somebody who has selected question this and answered this, and again say question number 1, as I've been using the product for 1 year or less, is selected. So this particular filter can be created, and see this will be loading up now, and all the data, corresponding data you can see over here. So this is how you can filter out the data. I'll just reset the filter. What you can also do is once you have created a filter, you can save that filter. I'll just remove this thing. Say I'll have a filter on the gender question. What is your gender? And I want to see what the male respondents have responded to this particular survey. So I've selected male and I save this filter. I will have to name it. Save. So now this has been saved. As mentioned earlier, I'll just go back to survey status and all. So this is the default report that you can see, but now as I've created a filter, you can see that particular filter under saved groupings. You can see this particular option here. So I click on saved groupings and I have one filter created. So the number of filters that you save, you can see all those filters in this particular drop down. So whenever in the future, maybe if you want to see the responses by mail, you can apply this filter and have a look at the reports. So I'll go back to survey status and all. Right, manage filter is again, like you can see all the filters over there, and if you want to edit those filters, you can edit those filters from here. And then reset a filter is if I'm creating a filter, I want to reset that filter, you can click on this and that particular filter will be reset. Then we have some report settings. So I click on report settings. So what is this? I'll show you first this particular thing. So there is a map that appears over here. You can have a look from where the respondents have responded to your survey, right? That particular thing is highlighted. This is a world map. So when you go to report settings, you can choose the map that you want to show. If you don't want to show a map, you can select none. We have all these options available: world, Europe, US, Canada. So you can select a particular map that you want to see. Word cloud is this basically is a way of showing how the respondents have responded to your text question types, open-ended text question types. So by default it is off. I'll be showing you word cloud for some text question types once we go in more detail. But then if you enable this in the dashboard itself, these are the dashboard settings. In the dashboard itself, you can see the word cloud. So currently I'll keep it off. Then time series is, by enabling time series, you can see how people have responded on different times during the response period, right? So if you want to have a look, I'll just settings. The enable time series. Oh, just a moment. It seems to be loading up. Just a moment. Settings, enable, save settings. So, right, this is the time series. So you can see there were about 42 responses on Wednesday, 31st May. There were about 62 responses on Wednesday, again 31st May, and you can see the time as well. So this is how the time series work. So I'll just verbally tell you people how this particular thing works. it will not consume much of our time then. So show device data. So this particular dashboard also shows from which device the responses have been taken, whether it has been taken from a machine, a laptop, or a desktop, or an Android device, or maybe an iPhone or something, or a tab. So if you want to show the device data as well, you can simply enable this. Show statistics. Statistic is the statistical calculations of the responses. Display question numbers. If you want the question numbers to be displayed, you can enable this statistical calculation. I'm so sorry, these statistics is different statistical calculations is over here. If you want to see the statistical calculations, you'll have to enable this. So even if you have not enabled a particular option, you'll definitely get all these things, the statistical calculations and everything, whenever you export the raw data. So I'll be showing that to you as well. So you want to see the charts on the dashboard, you can enable this. Answer options data table, answer options with no data, roll-up matrix, include text questions. So if you want to see the responses to a text questions on the dashboard as well, you'll have to enable this. Presentation text is like, for example, if you're given a section heading or some kind of an introduction text into your survey, and if you want to have that particular presentation text in your dashboard, you can simply enable this. And then question display, if you want to display all the questions, or if you want to have selected questions, you can click on this and then select the questions which you want on the dashboard. So I'll currently keep it as all questions. And if you want all the answer options to be displayed, you can select all. If you want only 5 answer options displayed, you can select all these options. And the answer sort order. So you want it to be ascending or descending. So this is all about the report settings, the dashboard settings, I would say. Right, here you can see an option for title and logo. So if you want, for your report, if you want to have a title or a logo, you can click on this. So I have added a title called Customer Satisfaction Product Sold to Business Dashboard. Right, you can simply edit this. When you do it for the first time, I believe this would be blank, but then you can add this particular title. If you want to have some summary added, you can add in the text over here. And then you can have a logo. I think I have already, I don't think I've done it. So what I'll do is I'll upload an image. I'll show you how it looks like. Desktop question. And upload file. This file already exists, so let me check. So sorry. QP logo _1, save changes. So see, I've added a title and a logo to the survey. This is the link. I will open it up for you people so that you can have a look. So whenever you share the report with anybody, so this is how it would look like. You can see the logo has appeared. This is the title, and then this is the dashboard. Right? So, right, this was all about title and logo. Then we have customized theme, similar to the theme of the survey. Like, as you can change the theme of the survey, you can also change the theme, that is the look and feel of the reports. Like, you can change the font, you can change the question text color, you can change the table background color, you can change the table highlight color as well. So I'll not go into details. You can simply play around with this. You can see all whatever color combinations, or maybe if you want to have the report matching the theme of the report matching your organization's brand, you can probably use this and customize the theme. And then we have sharing options. So once I click on sharing options, you can simply enable or disable. So if I disable this, you will not be able to share the report with anybody, or the survey admin will not be able to share the report with anybody. If I enable this, then you can share the report, and then you can also have a password. So accidentally, if you send it out to someone who should not be having a look at the report, what you can do is you can simply enable a password and make it password protected. So this is how you can do it. You can simply enable the password, put in a password, and then share the password with whoever is would, like, you want them to have a look at the report. So this is how you can play around with the sharing options. Now coming to the actual dashboard.
Tejas,
So in,
hey
yes,
Tejas.
Tripti.
Tejas, we just have a one particular question on concerning to the dashboard itself. If we could answer it right away.
Right.
So
Yeah, yeah, sure.
I'm unmuting Lakshay Lalchandani. He can ask his
Okay,
questions. Hi Lakshay, are you
right.
there? Hey Lakshay. Okay. I believe he is not available. Lakshay, are you there? Okay, I'm sorry for the disturbance. It was just probably he's not there. I'll answer it to him separately then. He just wanted to ask how to filter data and save the data. So he was asking about data filtration, which is
Right.
fine.
So I've,
Yeah.
yeah, I have shown it to these people, but then if like once he's back online and if he wants to have a look, probably once he's back
We
we can
can, right. We can
show
take
it to
it
him, right?
again. Right. No problem.
Right. Okay. So coming back, guys. So in this section, you can see this shows like how many people have viewed your survey. Like once you have distributed to people, you can see how many number of people have viewed it. So now what I've done is I've added some test responses. I will also show you people how you can add test responses, so that just to have a look at how your survey is working and all. So I'll show you how to add. In fact, I'll do it right away. Once you have created a survey, I'll go back to edit. You can see an option tools over here. You click on this and you can see test responses. Click on test responses and then you can have some test responses added to your survey. This is just to check if your survey is working fine. You want to have a look at report, etc. You can add test responses and have a look at it. Similar to this, I have added test responses to my survey. All the student responses that I've added are test responses. There's a way to delete all these test responses as well. We'll be coming to that point. So I'll quickly move on to a report. A bit of time to load. Fine. Right. So this is where you can see how many people have viewed your survey, then how many people have started your survey. Out of these people, how many have completed the survey. And you can see the rate, like 205 by 211 into 100 is how it is calculated. So this is, so 97% of people who have started the survey has completed it, and 6 people, you can see the difference, 6 people have dropped out of the survey. So you can also do dropout analysis, which I'll be coming to in the report section itself. So you can see like 6 people have dropped out. You can see from which question have people dropped out of the survey. You can then check with the survey if there is some issue with that particular question. If many people are dropping out of that question, you can have a look. You can restructure the survey as well. So you can see the number of dropouts here, and then how much time, average time it is taking for the respondents to respond to your survey. Then this is the map that I was referring to. So you can see the response distribution. If people from say America, USA have answered your survey, you can see this particular thing I highlighted, and you can see the number as well over there, number and the percentage of people, how many have responded to your survey from United States. You can see, similarly, you can see for India, Australia, all the places over the world. You want to change, there is a shortcut to change the map as well. Uh, if you are doing a survey only in USA and you want to see how many people have responded from USA, you can click on US, similar to Canada and Europe as well. Right, and yes, moving on to the next thing. This was the response count timeline. So I've already briefed you on this. So with this is the time series. You can see how many people have responded on which particular date and time. So you can see all these things over here. Right. So I believe 6 of us have responded to the survey just now during the webinar. So we can see the count as 6, right? All right. Right. So the first question in my survey was, how long have you been purchasing our products? It was a single select question. So there were some options, and you can see 5 years of more or more, 22% have responded as 5 years or more. Less than 6 months is 18%. 6 months to less than 1 year is 23%. So like most of the respondents fall into this particular category. So you can see a pie chart over here, right? This is the data table, the responses that you can see. So less than 6 months, 39 people have responded as less than 6 months, and so on. So there are 206 responses in total. You can see the percentages as well. So 23.3%. You can see the calculations, and you can see this particular thing highlighted, right? So if you want to change the chart type, you see these options on the right hand side. You can see chart type over here. You click on this, you have all these options. If you want to have this particular thing represented as a column chart, you can select column chart, and this is how it appears. Similarly, you can have a bar chart or a line chart as well. By default, it would be pie chart, but if you want to change it, you can change it from here. This is configure reporting. So this is where you can see the statistical calculations. So I click on this. You can see the mean, right? You can see the standard deviation. You can see the standard error. If you want to customize the mean calculation, so there is a specific formula that is used to calculate the mean, right, over here. So there are, say, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 answer options. So by default, the first answer option is given a weight of 1, second is given a weight of 2, third is given a weight of 3, and so on. So, and then there is a particular formula that we use. I would suggest you people, let's not get into the calculations, but I would suggest you people to just refer the help file. You'll find the formula for the mean calculation over there. So what we do is, usually I'll just give you an example. So the weight for the first option is 1 and the frequency is 39. So it would be 39 into 1 plus 48 into 2 plus 38 into 3 and so on, divided by the total frequency, that is 206. And this is how we get the mean, right? So in your survey, if you want to change the scale of the survey, you can customize or inverse the scale. You can see this option over here. You can simply change the scale values. Like this option, you want to make it 2. This option, you want to make it 5, and so on. So this is, let's not do this now, but this is how you can customize the scale of the survey and change the mean calculation. Over here, what you can do is, under customize mean calculation, if you want the mean only for, say, this 4 answer options, you can simply uncheck this particular checkbox, and the mean will be calculated based on only these 4 options, right? So you can simply select the answer options for which you want the mean to be calculated. So this is what you can do from here. This is where you can change the scales. And if you want to have a custom scoring model, it would be for net promoter score, etc. So let's not get into these complicated things, but then you can simply click on the question mark available over here, and you can see what exactly this does. So this is where you can configure the settings. You can see an option to download. So once you click on this particular option, you can see you can download this particular thing into an Excel file, a trend data. So will become trend analysis is one part of our reporting which will be coming to, and then banner table or cross table is also one of the advanced analysis tools. So we'll be covering this later, but if you want to download a particular chart, you can find these options over here. And if you want to share this particular chart only, then you can click on this particular option, and then this is the link for it. If you want to embed it onto your website or somewhere, you can use this embed code. Right, so this similarly, you have, I will come to this particular thing. Let's have a look at the other questions because they are very similar. So this is again the same question. It was a matrix question, And these were the options, the column, the row choices that we had in matrix question. So let's skip this. I'll come to this after we cover the other options. All right. So this is, see, please mention any additional comments that you have. So this is the text boxes. These are the text boxes, the open-ended text questions. So since in the report settings we have enabled this, you can see all the data over here. So some of you people have responded as good one, and A. I had responded it as stages, and then remaining are all the test data. So you can see. Similarly, you can have all the 206 responses viewed on the dashboard itself. So this was about the text question type. Then again, this is again a similar question type, a multiple choice question. This is how, so let's not, and there was a dynamic text. You can see the text appearing. Right. So this is how the dashboard looks like. I believe you have got a fair idea on the dashboard by now. I'll be coming to the spider chart, which we saw over here. So what I will do is now, people like, I've already shared the link with you. If you can just have a look at the link. One of the questions was, how often do you conduct surveys? It was a metrics type questions. The row choices were all the products that we offer. That is core survey platform, workforce, customer experience, QuestionPro audience, communities. So these were all the row choices, as you can see. They're appearing over here. And then there are column choices as, I'm not sure, it must be mentioned over here. So it was daily, weekly, yeah. You can see I do not use weekly, monthly, quarterly, yearly. So these were the answer options. So this spider chart is basically used to show data of a flex, not flex, sorry, a matrix question type. So matrix question types, there are row choices, there are column choices. So it becomes difficult to show it in a pie chart or a graph chart. So this representation is used for matrix question types. And how you can read this is, now this particular value, so core survey platform, you can see the value as 2.9. So what 2.9 is, 2.9 is the mean of all the responses. So the respondents who have selected that they use the core survey platform, and they have given out options as maybe weekly, monthly, quarterly, etc. So this scale being by default, don't use would be 0, weekly would be 1, monthly would be 2, quarterly will be 3, and yearly will be 4. So on the basis of the responses as given weekly, monthly, quarterly, yearly, or don't use, there would be a mean calculated based on how many respondents have selected that. So that particular mean is 2.89, and the percentage is, there is a specific formula that is 2.89, the mean divided by number of columns, that is 5. There were total 5 options, right? So divided by 5 into 100, this is how you get the percentage. So this basically is the percentage of the mean of a particular row choice. I hope I'm not confusing you people, but then this is how it is represented. If you have any questions related to the formula that is used and why is it used, what we can do is you can simply write to us. Explaining all these things in detail would consume a bit of time, and let's not waste a lot of time into that, but you can simply write back to us, and then we can help you with the calculations and stuff. So this is how, so you can see the mean for workforce is 3.07, and the percentage as well. Since the mean is high, the percentage obviously is high. So the highest thing is 61.36% for workforce. So with this, what you can understand is majority of people, or right, the majority of people have been using our product called Workforce. And the least used product you can see over here is 2.89, that is core survey platform. So this is how the metrics question is represented. I also wanted to show you people, so this is all similar. I'm so sorry, I'll just quickly move on to the spider chart. So below this, you can see core survey platform. So now for core survey platform, we can have a pie chart. You can see, so core survey platform, there are 22% people who are not using it. There are 20% people who use weekly, etc. and so on. Similarly, we have it for the workforce product, the row choice workforce, we have a pie chart. And you can see all these options. You can change the chart type over here as well. That is it. So this is what I wanted to share with you regarding the spider chart. Rest of the things are quite similar. I just wanted to show you one report. So, right. So I had a NPS question added into my survey. Again, if you're not able to recollect what an NPS is basically a customer satisfaction question type. It is called as Net Promoter Score question type. With this, you can calculate the score, like people who have used your product, how many promoters do you have, how many detractors do you have, and how many people are neutral. Promoters are the people who are willing to recommend your product to their friends. Detractors are the people who are not satisfied and are not willing to recommend the product to their friends or colleagues. And neutral people are like, they lie in between. They are neither promoters, neither detractors. So it is basically a scale of 0 to 10, like very unlikely to likely. And once you have that particular question in your survey and you run a report, in the dashboard, you can see this particular thing. So there are about, so you can see the Net Promoter Score is 43.81. That is, there are a lot of people that are not satisfied with your products and are not willing to recommend it. And this is how you can then come to a conclusion that there is something that we are missing into our product, and you can accordingly work onto it. So you can see the highlighted portion in this particular color. These are promoters, these are detractors, and these people are neutral. So you can see number of promoters are 38, number of detractors are 42, or I'm sorry, 130, and these are passive, that is neutral people. Right, I believe this thing is also clear, and then we have all the similar charts over here. So this was a question which had a lot of answer options. You can see a pie chart for it. All right, so this was all about dashboard. I'll quickly move on to the next part. So if you click on this particular thing, you can see dashboard. We are currently on dashboard. I click on participant statistics now. So participant statistics, you can see the overall participant statistics. So it is again the same thing. Now, how many people viewed it, how many people started, how many people completed, the completion rate, the dropouts. And over here, this is quite straightforward. So I'm not going into a lot of details, but then email invitation participant statistics. So if I've sent out an email invite to say 500 people, then you can see the statistics, like what is the count, how many were sent initially, how many people are pending to view the survey, how many have viewed, completed, etc. from that particular email list. Grouping segmentation participant statistics is like if you have created filters, as we saw initially, if you have created filters, you can see for that particular filters, you can see this participant statistics over here. So if you remember, I had created a filter for male. If I had applied that, you would have seen that particular filter over here, and then the participant statistics for it. And this is quite interesting. This is dropout analysis. So this is one of the analysis that you can do using the QuestionPro tool. So what dropout analysis does is it shows the questions from which people have dropped out. So I had say 6 people dropping out of my survey. So all these 6 questions were dropping out of the question number 16. That was NPS question that I've added. And then how I can analyze why people are dropping out at this particular question is I actually have added a logic to question number 16, a show and hide logic. So that might be the reason why people are dropping out from the question number 16. So this is how you can just analyze why the people have been dropping out, and then accordingly you can make changes into your survey. Then we have domain report. So domain report is basically, it actually shows from which domain have people responded to your survey. Domain as in, so see, my email address is tejas.mughal@questionpro.com. So the domain for my email ID is questionpro.com. Similarly, everyone will have different domains. So you can see the domain report over here. How many people have replied or responded from questionpro.com, how many people have responded from gmail.com. This can be useful if you're doing this particular survey for a particular company, right? And people, or say a set of companies, and their email addresses that they are using are their official email address, and then you can analyze people from which particular domain have responded to your survey. So this was about participant statistics. Then infographic. So infographic is nothing but, you can see, so it is similar to dashboard with some limited functionalities. So I cannot apply filters or export the data, etc. But then this is how it looks like. So graphical representation of each and everything. The text data would not appear on this. Only the graphical representation would appear. I believe when I was seeing the dashboard in the settings, I had not enabled the device data which I mentioned earlier. So the device data looks something like this. So how many people have answered your survey from tablets, from Android, iPad, tablets, others, right? How many people have answered it from a desktop or a laptop, from a Windows? These are the operating systems. And then how many people have taken your service from smartphones? So this is the device data, how it looks like. Rest, the infographic report looks like this. So it is graphical representation and then images of all those things. If you want to share the infographic report, you see this option over here. This is the link for the infographic report, which you can share with people. You can also share it on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and you can also download a QR code. If you want to preview it yourself, you can click on this. If you want to download the infographic report, you can download a PDF from this. So this was all about dashboard, participant statistics, and infographic. I believe like it was quite straightforward. The only thing was a bit complicated, I believe, was a spider chart and the configuration of reports. So we have covered that. Now moving on to the advanced analysis. So now QuestionPro, this is like quite a basic analysis of all the data that you have collected. Now, we also support some advanced analysis techniques, some kind of statistical analysis that you can do, or some methods that are extensively used. So, right, you can see this option advanced. You click on this, you can see, so under advanced we have cross tabulation, data segmentation, survey comparison, trend analysis, correlation analysis, weighting and balancing. So we'll cover this one by one. So cross tabulation, what cross tabulation is, as the name suggests, so you can prepare a cross tab, or maybe you can compare 2 or more questions, 2 to 3 questions in an, say, an Excel format. So what I'll do is I'll show you an example so that it would be more clear to you. So see, so what you do is you create a pivot against a particular question into your survey. So you can cover, you compare that particular question, the responses to that particular question with the responses to the other question, that is the filter question. So what I'll do is, say, what I'll do is I'll select this particular thing. What is your gender? Say the pivot question 1 is what is your gender, and then the filter question 1. So see, the pivot question 2 is optional. I'll show it to you, but let's do the thing which is quite basic first, and then we will get into a bit complicated examples as well. So filter question 1 is, for this particular pivot question, that is what is your gender, that is male, female, which question you want to filter the data for. So I would say, how long have you been purchasing our products, is where, sorry for that, is the data that I want to filter out. Now let's concentrate on this. I do not have any data filter created, so I'll not see any data filters over here. And there are 2 options. You can see it on the web itself, that is HTML. if you want to download it into Excel, you can click on this and you can have an Excel file created. So I'll generate an Excel file, or first I'll show you on HTML, and then I click on this create online cross tab. See, this is where the cross tab is created. Now you'll understand what the cross tabulation does. So this was the pivot question, what is your gender? So 203 people have answered to this particular question, male, female, and prefer not to answer. These were the three answer options. So people who have responded as male, and then this is the filter question. How long have you been purchasing our products? Less than 6 months to less than 1 year, etc. So male, so 12 males have been purchasing the product for less than 6 months, right? I hope I'm not confusing you people, but then 12 male have been purchased the product less than 6 months. 18 female have done it in the last 6 months, and those who have selected prefer not to answer, there are 9 people who have purchased a product in less than 6 months. Similarly, you can see this 17, 18, and these are the percentage calculations, right? You can see similar options. So for male, female, this is how you create a cross tabulation, right? I hope this is quite clear. I will also show how the Excel looks like. There is a graphical representation. So see, you can see a display option. So here, data table plus charts, or only data table. I want charts as well. I select this and the chart type. Let's say I want a column chart. I click on this. All right. So this is where the report has been downloaded. I click on this. You can see I'll just open this so you get an idea of how it looks on an Excel. So the chart is, all right. Right. So see this is a similar table. You see male 12, 18, 9, 17, 18, 10, and the percentage calculations. And this is the graphical representation. Less than 6 months, these are male, these are female, and these are prefer not to answer. So this is how they have responded to this particular question. So this is how cross tabulation works. I hope you have got an idea of how it works. So if I have a pivot question too, so I'll just show you how it works. By seeing at the example, you will get an idea how. Have you ever recommended us to others? So this is the pivot question 2. I generate an HTML and I create an online cross tab. So see, this was the pivot question 1, gender, male, female, and this was the pivot question 2. Have you ever recommended us to others? Again, less than 6 months. So 11 people have never recommended. 16 people have never recommended. So this is how the pivot question 2 works. To make it even more in detail, if I add a filter question 2, then we'll have 2 filters. All right, so I selected this question type, and you can see. So these are the pivot question 1 and pivot question 2, and these are pivot question 1 and, filter question 1 and filter question 2. So this is how you can use cross tabulation to analyze the data that you have collected. Like if you want to compare any 2 questions, you will have to use cross tabulation. Then we have, so I'm so sorry I missed out on this, but then you have certain statistical calculations that you can see below. That is chi-square statistics, the p-value. So all these formulas, if you want to refer to the formulas, I would suggest you to go to the help file. You can see a help file. You can click on this question mark. You will find the help file and the formula that we have used to calculate this. But yes, I believe you will be required to do this kind of statistical calculations as well in your reports. So you can find these things readily done by the software itself. You can see the mean, standard deviation, and the standard error as well, right? For what is your gender, the frequency analysis. So this was cross tabulation. Then moving on to data segmentation. Let me check. All right, moving on to data segmentation. So data segmentation is again the filters that you create. So in the dashboard you saw filters. Here is where you can create filters. Again, you can see new data filter. So there are 3 filters by default: started but not completed, people who have started but not completed the survey. Then we have people who have completed the survey. And if we have branching into a survey and there are some responses who have been terminated via branching, then you can see the respondents, the data filter for that over here. So here you can see the report options. You can see dashboard or text report. You can see dashboard or text report. If you want to create a new filter, you can add a new data filter from here as well. It is again similar. You'll have to name it. All right, I'll just close this. You'll have to name it. You can filter on this particular 3 things, and then response to a survey question. If question this is selected, and like similar, like I again go to the gender question to give you an example. If male is selected. So this is how you can create filters and filter out the data. And you can use it for analysis that you want to do, right? So this is all about data segmentation. Then we have survey comparison. Now, survey comparison is, this is where you can compare 2 surveys, 2 different surveys, right? If they have a similar structure, right? And you want to two different surveys, you can use survey comparison. So you can see here an option. I've already created one, survey comparison 1. I'll create a new one for you, new data comparison report. Click on this. I'll name it as to, and see, this is the current survey that I'm into, customer satisfaction products sold to businesses. And this is the survey that I'm comparing. Surveys into your account. All these surveys will be listed here. So what I'll do is I'll quickly pick this particular thing which I created long time ago, and I'll run. So which question do you want to run the comparison on? So say I want to run the comparison on how long have you been purchasing our products from this particular survey, and in this particular survey, how long have you been purchasing our services? So these are the 2 questions in the survey that I'm comparing. I save the comparison report, and you can see the comparison report over here. So how long have you been purchasing our products? How long have you been purchasing our services? You can see products is higher, services is lesser. I believe I do not have much responses in the survey that I've used to compare, but this is how you can compare 2 different questions from 2 different surveys. Then we have trend analysis. So what trend analysis is, I'll just give you a brief overview on what trend analysis is. Say I've been running a survey for over a year, right? Say I started a survey in January 2016, and the survey was active up to December 2016, and I was keeping it open so that people can keep on responding to the survey. So trend analysis is where you can analyze the trend in the respondents and their responses. So how people have responded, say in the month of January, how people have responded in the month of March. So you can have the frequency set. So you see trend report. I went to trend analysis. So if you have created a filter into your survey, you will have the filters listed over here. Or if you want to run the trend analysis on the entire data set, you select this, filter result. I want all the results. Then you can have a start date and an end date as mentioned earlier. Now this particular survey, what I'll do is say 1st May and the end date is 30th June. So between this particular period, how people, what is the trend in the responses that I've been receiving. That I can see with the trend report. So you can have a frequency of weekly, monthly, quarterly, annual. So since it is only for 1 or 2 months, I'll keep it as weekly. And then how do you want the output report to look like? Do you want it default percentages, or you want detailed statistics, mean, standard deviation? So I'll simply keep it as percentages and then download the trend report. So I'll show you how it looks like. You'll get an idea of how the trend report looks like. So see, here is the trend report. Open this. Now for this particular survey, I had few responses added day before yesterday, a few responses added yesterday, and a few responses added today. So I'll not see, you can see, this is a trend report for this particular survey. You see start date, you see the end date, the report type is the frequency is weekly, and you can see this was week number 1. So I chose the date as 1st of May. So May, first week, I got these many, these are the percentages that represent the corresponding values. So this actually is the week number 18 in the entire year. This is week number 19, 20, 21st, 20. So you see the data now. Since I have responded only in this particular week, I have data only for this week. But this is how you can see. So for less than 6 months, 18 or say 19% approximately have been purchasing products for less than 6 months. And if it was, say, in May first week, it was 12%. So you can see a trend that the number of people who purchasing the products in less than 6 months has increased. So this is how you can change, check the trend, how the responses to your survey are changing. So this is how you can do trend analysis. Trend dashboard, then it is a similar thing. So it is a dashboard. So you can see the responses that I've got. It is similar to the response count timeline. You also have the numbers and the chart for that. It is for all the questions that we have in the survey. Then moving on to correlation analysis. Correlation analysis is again, it is you people, in your first year, I think you must have done, you must have had a subject called statistics. So you must have done Spearman-Rowe calculation in that. So we have the Spearman-Rowe calculation done readily into the software itself. So if you want to calculate the correlation between, say, 2 questions, you can use this particular thing. So I want a correlation between, say, these 2 questions. How long have you been purchasing our products? And what is your overall level of satisfaction? I click on this. You can see for this particular thing, you can see the calculations over here, the correlation between these 2. So just refer the help file. You will find the formula for this calculation as well. But this is how you generate the correlation. So you want to generate a correlation between any 2 questions into your survey, you can use the correlation analysis. Then we have weighing balancing. So weighing balancing, I'll just show you how it works. Or instead what I'll do is I'll give you an example. Say you are conducting a survey, you have a shop, or maybe you're working with a men's apparel shop, right? And you're doing a particular survey, a customer satisfaction kind of a survey for that particular store. And so it is meant, since it is a men's apparel shop, the survey is meant only for men, right? But then if you're sending it out to a large audience, say you are pasting it onto your Facebook page or somewhere, or maybe the email list that you have also includes some female, right? So the survey is going out to men and female as well, but you want the responses only for male. The responses from female have very less weight in that particular case. So this is where you can balance out the survey. So just to So since there are female also responding to your survey, there could be a little bit of a bias in that responses, and the weightage to the responses given out by female is less. So this is where you can balance out the responses. So I see what is your gender. So in this particular thing, I go to set up weight. So for male, I give a very high percentage, 80%. For female, say I give 10%. And for the people who have selected prefer not to answer, I give a 10%. So this ultimately needs to be 100. But then this is how you can balance out the responses. And then once you set up the weights, I'll just do this, and then I'll download the Excel report. So these are the analytics Excel report after I have adjusted the weights. So you can see I'll not go through each and everything, but then you can see I'll just show you one graph. Let's consider this. How long have you been purchasing our products? So this particular thing is based on the respondents. So the weights given out to male candidates. So you can see some percentage calculations over there, right? So the responses given out by females have been adjusted. Just a moment. Right. So this was about weighing balancing. Then we have certain advanced analysis for conjoint max-diff and other things. Now, conjoint analysis in itself is a big topic. The report in itself is quite very complicated. So we will not be able to cover everything about conjoint analysis, but this is where you can see, you can find the reports for conjoint analysis. If in case in your survey, if you have a conjoint question or a max-diff question, you can run the conjoint report from here and do the analysis. So you basically will require a researcher who has been doing research for a long time and who has studied conjoint analysis to read that particular report. But if in case in your survey, your say internal guide from your college insists to have a conjoint analysis question or do some kind of conjoint analysis, then this is definitely available. If you're using it, please connect with us and we will definitely help you with that, right? So then moving on, we have text and media analysis. So if you have some open-ended text into your survey, so that open-ended text can be analyzed from here. So this is the text report. So see, these were all the text questions that we had and all the text that has been collected. Then we have text analysis. Now text analysis is basically available only with the enterprise edition of our software, which is the high-end software used by enterprises. But I'll just give you an example what this text analysis does. Text analysis is where if you have a lot of questions, text questions into your survey, you can have tags added to say different. So it is basically sentiment analysis, positive sentiment, negative sentiment. So you can have different tags added to the text that is being added. So say satisfaction, how satisfied are you? I'm highly satisfied is the text that people have been using. So you can give a tag out to highly satisfied, you can give out a tag to unsatisfied, and then you can run a report wherein you can see the reports based on tags. So you can find how many people are highly satisfied with a positive sentiment. Like you can find the people with positive sentiment, and this is where text analysis is used. Then we have word cloud. So word cloud is nothing but so a representation of the text data that we have collected. Now what it does is it puts emphasis on the text that has been used by the respondents while responding to your survey. So you can see over here, now since I've added a lot of test data, all the answer options that are given out are test data. So test data, you can see, it has been highly used as responses. So you can see it in a higher font size with bond text. So people who have given a lot of emphasis on a particular text will appear in this particular thing. A lesser significant text data. So somewhere I had used NA as the response to it, but there was only 1 or 2 or 3 responses with NA, right? Not applicable. In the total sample size, I believe there are about 205, 206 responses. So you will not be able to see that. So whatever text has been used extensively by respondents, that will come up in the word cloud. Then we have heat map analysis. Now heat map analysis, I do not have a question for heat map analysis. What I'll do is I'll quickly add a survey. So I'll create a new survey. So if you people have attended our part 1 webinar in which we covered the question types, there was a question type called heat map. So heat map analysis can be done only on that particular question type. Under advanced, you can see heat map. Please drag, crop the area of your interest on the image. So I'll have to add an image. I use this, right? I preview this. So this is how the heat map question will look like. So the respondent will have to simply select the area of interest. So this is how the respondent can respond to a heat map question. And then what I'll do is I'll quickly add some test responses to it. Say I had 100 test responses. And I click here to view the report. I want to see the heat map analysis. So you can see, so there basically is different color codes used. I'm not sure, since I've added test data, this is how it is appearing, but I will go to an example over here. So you can see, this was the question. I cannot see the question over here, but then if you have added an image, people are dragging and selecting a particular area of the image. So there is a color code that is used. So heat map basically, if people have selected this particular area, like a maximum number of people have selected this particular area, it will become orange. Then there is, you can see this particular grading. Yellow is next to orange, then we have green, then we have blue, and so on. So this is how the heat map, right? So this is the area that has been selected by most of the people. So this is how heat map analysis can be done. So we have almost covered all the reports. We have some customized reports that you can prepare if you want to. So I go to customized reports, create a new customized report. I'll have to name it test 2. I want to say prepare a custom report on numeric or analytical questions. I'll say I'll do it on all questions, and I'll do it for only for the people who have completed it. And then I want to have an output as standard JPEG. I go to next. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'll go to the other survey. This is the heat map analysis survey. We'll do it over here. I go to reports. All right, I go to customize reports, create new customized report. Sorry for this. Test 2, say all questions, data filters completed. Next. Now, this is where you can have an executive summary. So why would you create a customized report? So you can have some kind of customizations done, and if you want to share only a particular set of data from your survey with a particular person, then you can have this customized report prepared. You can have a executive summary to it. You can simply finish it and click on continue. So you can add different filters to your survey, and then prepare a customized report. So if you want, as we took the examples earlier, like if you want the responses only from male or from female who have been using the software for more than 5 years, and you want the reports only for them, so you can have these filters created, add an executive summary, and this is how the report would look like. You want to share, see, this is the static report link. I'll just, or maybe I'll just click on preview report. So this is how the report would look like, graphical representation. So since I have not added any filters, it would look like similar to the dashboard, but then you can add filters, you can customize your reports, and then share it with the other people. And then the last option that we have is consolidate report. So consolidate report is, say if you have two surveys, two surveys into your account of the same structure, that is you have the same questions, but for some reason you had created two different surveys and you have floated it to, say, different set of respondents. You have collected responses to both the surveys. Now you want to merge the data from both the services, into one report. Then you can use consolidate report. The only thing is you need to have both the surveys in the same structure. You can select the survey that you want to merge the data of, say this. But now since this particular survey doesn't have the same structure, I've made a few changes into my survey. But then you can select this, run the consolidated report. All the data from both the surveys will be merged together, and then a report would be prepared. So that is it. So this is all about reports, guys. We now will be covering managed data, which will take another 10 to 15 minutes. I believe we are over time, but we were taking a few questions initially. That is why I believe we are over time. We will take another 15-20 minutes to cover managed data. Meanwhile, like Tripti, if we have any questions, we can take them for 5 minutes and then we can move on to managed data.
Right. So I do have a question from Joy. I'll just
Yes.
unmute Joy.
Okay.
Yeah. Hi, Joy.
And I was asking in cross tabulation, sir showed कि we can do comparison there, right?
Right.
So can we use two filter for one pivot question?
Two filters for
One
one pivot
pivot
question.
question. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. You can do that. Like if you want to have a look at it, I'll just go to it. Let me see. Pivot question, say I take it as gender. Filter question is this. And filter question you are saying, right? Two filter questions, right?
Yes. Yes.
Post-purchase experience, how likely. Okay. You see over here, what is your gender, and these are the two filter questions.
Okay, maximum number of filter questions that can be added is two, right?
These two.
Okay.
I think I missed out on, just a moment. There is one. I'm so sorry, guys. Joy, thank you that you brought this thing up.
Yes.
But under cross tabulation, you can see
Pivot
banner pivot
option.
tables. Banner pivot tables is, yes. And I'm so sorry I missed on this.
Yeah.
But this is where you can have nested pivots created. So you can have a pivot. So this would be a bit of a complicated thing to do. But then if you want to create a pivot under a pivot, right? So you can use banner pivot tables. So there will be pivot question 1, that is primary pivot. Then there would be, if you want to add a secondary pivot, so you'll have a pivot question 2 as well. There will be 2 pivots. So how this would work is say let's do it over here. Say first question is, what is your gender? Secondary pivot is enabled. And how long have you been purchasing our product? This is the secondary pivot. And the filter question is say, how likely are you to continue using our products? So there are two pivot questions and one filter question. I'll just create a banner table. I'll show you how it looks like so you'll get an idea out of this. Are you to continue using our products? You can see this is the pivot question one. What is your gender? Right? This is the pivot question two. How likely? And these are the options: very likely, somewhat likely, neutral, somewhat likely, and then this is the filter question. Right? You can see. I'm so sorry. See, what is your gender? For male, you can see the calculations over here. For female, you can see the calculations over here. Right?
Okay.
Are you getting this? Are you getting this? I actually am not able to recollect the answer options that we had for that particular question. But now I can say that, see, the first answer option was overall. Then we had less than 6 months. Let me just, right, overall, less than 6 months, 6 months to less than 1 year. You can see this was the filter question, like how long have been you using our product?
Yes, yes.
And then this was a pivot one, male, female, and then this was the pivot two. So this is how you can create nested pivots as well.
Yes, okay. And sir, one last question. In text analysis, if I make a survey in which I am asking like exact percentage, like what is the percentage of revenue that is being allocated to content marketing or such. Okay. So I'm not giving my the survey, I mean who are filling up the form range like 10 to 15%. I want exact figures, right? So how can I analyze those kind of questions?
Right. So what is your question? Can you please tell me, like in the survey, what is your question? What is the percentage of?
Budget which is allocated for content marketing.
Okay, for content marketing. What is the budget that you have allocated for content marketing? And so what will happen is people will be responding, say 10 people are responding.
Yes.
Right? 10 people are responding. Out of this 10 people, 3 people have mentioned 10% is the budget. Right? 4 people have mentioned, say 12% is the budget, and the remaining people have given out random numbers, that is 9%, 8%, 7%. So what will happen with this is, now I have considered only 10 responses. You may have 1,000 responses, right? So from 1,000 responses, if you do a word cloud out of it, right? So now there are only, actually there are only two options for text analysis that you can use. One is open-ended text, wherein you can see all the responses one by one. Now, since it is a text question, we cannot have a graphical representation or some kind of calculations out of it, but you can check one by one. But if you use word cloud, in word cloud, what will happen is, now we took an example of 10 people responding, right? Out of which 4 people said 12% is the budget. So in word cloud, 12%, that particular value, you can see 12 coming up with a bigger font with some distinct coloring, and it would be bold, right? Then the next value, like there were 3 respondents with responses as 10%. Then would come at 10%, which would be a bit of a lesser font, but it would be visible to you. So this is how you can analyze that maximum number of people, how much percentage that they are allocating for this particular thing. So this is one thing that you can use in text analysis. But then it is quite limited since it is a text, open-ended text. There are a few limitations to the analysis part, but then you can use this very well too.
Okay, sir.
Right? I believe I've answered your question then.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Right. Great job.
Right.
Any other questions, Tripti?
So Tejas, we don't have any further questions being asked, except for, okay, one more, once again. So we have Syed Dastagir. I'll just try and mute him. He has raised his hand. Hi, Syed.
Hello?
Hi. Please tell us.
Hello,
Syed?
sir. Hello?
Yes, Sayed. I believe you can hear us. You have a question, please ask. We'll try and answer it.
Can,
Sayed, can you hear us?
I,
Sayed, what you can do is, I'm not sure, we are not able to hear you. What you can do is, you can type in your question into the chat window. We'll definitely take it up. If we have any other questions, Tripti, we can take those, or
right.
like we can move on to manage data because we have less time on our hand.
No, so we don't have any further questions being asked. Let's just finish manage data and let's see if there are any other further questions then, right?
Right.
Cool.
Thanks, Tripti.
Yeah,
So
sure.
guys, now the managed data part is quite an interesting thing and is going to be very important for you people when you prepare your reports, the project reports. So I believe the reports section that we covered was uh, clear to you people. Tripti, I can hear someone. Is somebody unmuted?
Okay, let me just check. Yeah. Oh, Syed is unmuted. Let me see. I've muted him, Tejas. Please continue.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
So yes, guys, now the managed data part becomes very important for you people. So I'll take you through all these options. So managed data is where you can so download the data, download the entire raw data that you have collected into Excel, CSV. If you want to download only the charts uh, of the questions to say a PowerPoint or a PDF, you want to prepare a project report, you want to download all the charts and analysis to a Word document, you can do all these things from the manage data tab. So allow me a moment. Yes, so I'll take you through each and every option over here. So under manage data, you can see export, import. Export is where you can export all the data. So the first thing is raw data export. What is raw data? Raw data is basically whatever data that you have collected into the survey. You can export all the data and keep it as a backup with you, right? So this can be exported into Excel or CSV. So we have two options available over here. So let's consider we keep it as Excel. Now, what is this? Include open-ended text data. So if I enable this, the text data will also be included into your raw data export. If I disable this, the open-ended text data will not be available into the raw data. Now, include raw data. Yes, I do want to include raw data, right? Then you can see two options, display answer codes, display answer values. If I select this, what will happen is, I'll give you an example. I have a multiple choice question. Uh, what is your specialization, right? This is the question that I'm asking, and the answer options are say marketing, HR, finance, etc., operations, logistics, management, construction management, and so on. So if I have all these answer options, by default, the first answer option, as I mentioned in the report section as well, will have a score of 1 or a value of 1. The second answer option will have a score of 2. The third answer option will have a code or an index as 3, and so on. So if I select this, only the indexes or the codes will be displayed in the raw data. That is 1, 2, 3, 4. If you want the answer values, that is the specializations, marketing, finance, the text mentioned in your raw data export, you will have to select on this. So with this, the text will be displayed. Then we have display question codes instead of text. So So instead of having the entire question displayed in the Excel file, you can also have the question codes, that is Q1, Q2, Q3, etc. So if you enable this, only the question codes will be displayed. If you disable this, the text, the entire question will be displayed. Exclude content URLs. Now this basically is for upload question type. So upload question type, I believe you all know question type is wherein you can ask the respondent to upload files to your surveys, right? So if somebody is uploading a file, there will be a URL created or a link created for that particular file, and it can be downloaded from there. So when you view the responses to the survey, there will be a link clicking on which you can download that particular attachment. So if you enable this, the URLs to that particular files will not be present in the raw data. If you disable this, then there will be URLs present in the raw data as well. Include geocode and additional info. Geocode is basically like for geocode is basically the latitude, longitude, the country code, etc., etc. So if you want those things as well, you simply can enable this. And data filters is if you want to have a date range, that is, I want the responses only from, this is similar to the filters that we have seen at multiple times during the reporting thing. So you can have a range given out, and then you can have filters created. So I'll just show you how the raw data looks like. Let me check if I have all the right options selected. I download it. Click on this. Then Excel will be downloaded. I open this. So this is how the downloaded data looks like. So at any point of time, you want to take a backup of all the responses that you have collected to your survey, you can simply download it and keep to your say machine or somewhere you can store it. So this is how it looks like, the survey name, the username, options, the filters that you have created or whatever you have enabled or disabled, the date and time stamp. These are the statistics. This is the raw data. So raw data, you can see response ID. So there is a unique ID for each respondent. One respondent submits a response, there is a unique ID created. So this column is a unique response IDs for each response. Then we have IP addresses captured. Now, since this was test data, we do not have IP addresses, but some of you have answered to the survey. We can see IP addresses over here. Then we have time and date stamp. Are these responses duplicate? Yes, true or false. Time taken, sequence number. So external reference, these are all test responses. So then if we had any custom variables, those would be listed over here, the country code, the region code, and then these are the questions and answers to it. You can see all the question and answers. So this is the raw data for question 1 and question 2. You can see the data over here and so on, right? So this is how you can download the data to Excel or CSV as well. Then moving on to charts and analysis. So this is also quite interesting. Allow me some time. Okay. So charts and analytics. Now, whatever charts and analytics that are present in the report section, you want it in a PowerPoint. So you want to make a presentation to the external examiner maybe once you have done with your projects. What you can do is you can simply export it to PowerPoint, the older version as well, the newer version as well. So I'll just show you how it looks like. So there is a template. You can change the template as well. You can see the PowerPoint template. So this by default is QuestionPro Blue. If you want to use any of these templates, you can use, or if you want to add a custom template, you can add a custom template as well, right? So include open-ended text data. No, I don't want to. I download it. So this is quite interesting, people. I believe during your Vivas, you'll have to make a lot of presentations, maybe during your interviews as well. You want to share the project report, what research you have done during your academics. You can simply download this into a PowerPoint presentation, and a ready-made PPT will be available. You can see all the charts and analytics. You can see this. So this is quite interesting, and I am very sure that you will require this particular feature. You can export it to PowerPoint, and you can export the charts and analytics to Word document as well. As I mentioned earlier, if you want to prepare a project report, right, you want all the charts and analytics in a Word document, you need not copy and paste it from an Excel or something. You can simply download the Word document. Click on this. You open it. I'll just show you quickly so that you get an idea how it looks like. So you can see the project report is for you people. All the data that you have collected is ready. Now you simply need to, in this particular Word file, you simply need to add like whatever synopsis and the objective of the study, etc., etc., all those text part. The charts and analysis will be readily available on a Word document. So this is how you can export it to Word. You can also export the charts and analytics to Excel file as well. So I'll not show you that, but you can play around with it. Then we have SPSS. Now this is quite an interesting feature that we are providing. You as students, I'm not sure if you will be using SPSS. We have observed a few students using SPSS, but if a user wants to do some advanced statistical calculations on the data that has been collected, you can simply download all the data that you have collected to an SPSS file and then use the SPSS. Like you would require an SPSS downloaded onto your computer to do this. But if you have that, then you can simply export it to SPSS and do that advanced analysis using SPSS as well. So you can see the similar options to raw data export over here. You can simply change this and use. Now SQL data export file, again, it is not going to be useful to you people, but I'll tell you what it does. If some organization is doing a survey, they have collected a data and they have different databases. Now there are different databases into an organization. Say there is an SQL database and they want to import all the survey data that has been collected, the responses, into that particular database. So what they can do is they can simply download it in this particular file format and it can be readily imported. So the technical team or the backend team can do this. They can readily import it into the databases that they have. Right? They just want to store all the responses into the database. They can use this particular option. So there is no file upload question type in this particular survey, but then whatever image and multimedia questions that you have used, you can export the responses from here. Right, so this was all about export. Then we have import. Now import, there were a few questions asked by a few people like, can we import data that is, I believe Joy, you yourself were the one who had asked in the part 1 webinar that can we import the data. So see, importing a data is, it is possible. See, you can see there is a feature wherein you can import the data, but the only thing is you will need to have that particular data in a specific format that this system understands. So you can see import external data into current survey. There is a template given out, right? You need to download this template. You'll have to convert the entire data into this particular format, right? In which you will also have to mention the questions, the answer options, everything. So you can have a look at the template, but you'll have to prepare the Excel file in this particular format and then you can import it. You'll not have to create the survey, the data, but then you will have to mention the questions in that Excel file and then you can import it. So it is possible, but it is a bit complicated, but you can definitely do it. If you want to import external data into a new survey, you can see example over here, sample survey was one of the competitors who has shut down the business. So there were users from that particular company, that is Fluid Survey, who had a lot of data with them, and they did not have a survey platform. So we had built up a functionality from there. So anybody from Fluid Survey can directly import this survey data into QuestionPro. So this is all about import. Then we have search. In search, if you want to search a particular text into your survey, say Now the text that I have into my survey is test data. I click on test data, or what I'll do is I search database. So I'm not sure why I'm not getting responses for this. But yes, you can search the text questions. Now, if in case you have text questions in your survey, then you can search the, for example, like again, I believe Joy asked, so that question was different, but you have text questions, you want to search for that open-ended text, you can search from here and you can find those answer options. Or then you can create an ad hoc query as well. Queries, again, it is a kind of a filter that you can create. You see, you can select this weekly, and then you can run this query, and as per the query, the data can be searched, right? Then we have responses. So this is where all the responses that you have collected are listed. So each and every response in your account, you can see over here. So you can see there were 4 or 5 responses, 6 responses that we got when we started with this particular webinar. So these are all the responses. These are the response IDs. As I mentioned, I click on the response ID. I can see all the responses that this particular respondent has given, right? So if you want to track the respondents, you can see, you can have a look at the responses. You want to delete any responses, you can delete selected responses from here. So I want to delete, say, 2 responses. I select, check these boxes, I delete responses. I have all these details. I am not able to scroll it anyways, but you will find all the responses listed down over here. Then scheduling. Scheduling is wherein you can schedule reports. So you can have reports like I want monthly reports every month. Say on the first date, I want the report to be generated and sent me to my email address. So you can generate schedules, reports from here. So the reports will automatically be sent to your email address. Location is like if you have any location question types in your survey, that is store locator or address only or a map question, then you can export that data. So if you're capturing address, you want only addresses, you can export that data from here. Delete data. Now what I'll do is now, see, this is where you can clear all responses. Once you have, you do not want the responses to be into your account, you can clear responses. But please make a note, this will be permanently deleted. You cannot recover it. So be careful while using this. Now I've added test responses. If you have also added test responses to your survey, you want to clear test responses, you can simply click on this and all the test responses that you have added will be deleted from here. Then we have downloads. So in the download section, whatever things that I've been downloading into my account, say the reports or the raw data, everything. So this is the download center. You can see all these things. So I had downloaded MS Word report. You can see this is the output file. I click on this, it will again be downloaded to my system, but you can see all these options over here, right? So whatever downloads I've done into my account, you can see. And then merge data. So this is the consolidated survey data, as I showed you in reports. If you have consolidated, uh, if you want to consolidate or merge the data from 2 different surveys, you can do it from here as well. So that is it, guys. I believe I've covered everything under reports and managed data. I think, hope you found this informative. If you have any questions, we have already on 9:30. We'll have to close this thing down. But if you have any questions, we can quickly take a few questions. We definitely will be sharing the recording of this video with you. But like Tripti, if you can see if somebody has any questions. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, Tripti, do you have any questions?
Yeah, Tejas, I'm sorry I got disconnected from the audio. Um, No, so we have Joy again. I'll just try unmuting him. Hi, Joy.
Hi, ma'am.
You have a question?
First of all, thank you, sir. Yes, yes, I do have also.
Please tell.
Sir, thank you very much for taking up that question which I asked in the first session.
Right,
Uh,
right, right. Yeah.
and sir, I just wanted to ask you, when we are managing data, we are having every single information like IP address, respondent ID, and all those data, right?
Right.
So, if we are collecting offline,
Mm-hmm.
uh, then I think this data won't be available. Is that right?
No, Joy. See, what will happen is if you're collecting it from a mobile device offline, right? You've collected
Yes.
all the data, but for the analysis purpose, you will have to transfer that data to your account, right? So you will click on synchronize on the mobile app, all the data will be synchronized. Now, once all the data is synchronized, each response will always have a unique response ID. If you want to work around on a particular response, if you want to, I actually missed out on showing you, if you want to edit responses. So I'll give you an example. Uh,
Okay, sir.
Say I have a survey, a registration form wherein I'm asking email address of the respondent, right? Which is a
Right,
text
right.
text box, and someone has done a typo while entering the text box, the email address, right? And I want to use that email address somehow and I want to edit that response. You as a survey admin can definitely do it. I missed it out there. But yes, for every respondent, there will be a unique response ID always generated and the data will always be captured. Only the thing, the IP address will not be captured because it has been given out from a mobile device. The rest of the things will
Okay.
be there,
Okay, sir.
right? Any other question, Tripti?
Right, right. Just hold on, Tejas. So again, Syed, last time he was not able to connect with us, although he did raise his hand and has posted a question. I'll just try unmuting him again. Syed Dastagir, are you there? Okay, so he isn't available till now. But then Tejas, he asked us a question. Uh,
Yes, tell me.
yeah, my question was, while adding a filter question in pivot tables, are there any limitations which I need to take care of? But then he's not available. I think he's offline right now. So
But I think we have covered that as well.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
when
We're covering the
some
pivot
attendee asked
tables.
about it.
Yeah, banner table and
Yeah,
pivot
yeah,
tables you did cover. Right. So apart from this,
right.
Tejas, we don't have any further questions being asked. I believe we can wrap up the session now.
All right. So fine. So that should be it from our side, guys. We tried covering reports and managed data. If you, while you are using it, if you have any questions while you are using the software, if you have any questions, you can simply write to us, or at any point of time, you can simply write to us on this email address. We will definitely get back to you. What we'll be doing now is, now we have covered all the three parts, that is part one, part two, part three. We have covered the entire tool in these three webinars. Believe you have attended all the webinars. If you have missed out on something, we will be sharing the recordings of the videos of these webinars with you people so that you can refer it at any point of time. What I would also suggest you people is get on an online chat, take help from our support representatives, refer our help files, and start working on your service. So we are almost through with this particular program that we call as Internships Made Easy with QuestionPro. However, we'll again be conducting, so there were a few students, there are in fact a lot of students who could not attend all the webinars. We'll be again be conducting all these webinars in the month of June as well. If you want, you can join in on these webinars, those webinars as well. We'll be sharing uh, the details of those webinars with you people. So you can join on those webinars, and any point of time you have any questions, you can write to us on this particular thing. So on this particular email address. That should be it from our side then.
Right, right. Tejas, probably we
Right,
could
Preeti?
also, Tejas, probably we could also tell the students like once all of these guys have attended all the three parts of the webinar, how we will be, giving out the Question Pro certified researcher certificates and the criteria that are to be fulfilled.
Right. So you want to tell them, you can go ahead.
Right,
Uh,
right.
you can
So
take it up.
yeah, so what we need to do is, for those of you who have attended all the part 1, the part 2 and the part 3 of this webinar, the Question Pro webinars, you now need to, and if you're already done with your internships project, if not, then it's fine. Continue using Question Pro for your internship project, and probably once when you're done, you can share your survey IDs with us, and once we see that you've actually used Question Pro for your internship project, what we will be doing in turn is we will be certifying you with a Question Pro certified researcher certificate that you can use for your professional portfolio and resume and the job interviews that you probably give out. That certainly is going to add a lot of weightage to your to the placements that you sit in, or probably to whatever companies you're applying to in your second year, because as you might already be knowing, all of you, internships play a very, very important role in MBA, because this is how they're going to impact a lot of once you're sitting in for the interviews, they're going to have a huge impact on it. So this is from us. We have been trying to help you guys, and in fact, like, we have quite overwhelmed with the response that we're receiving. For those of you, who have attended the sessions and you have other classmates, batchmates, or friends who want, who are struggling with their internships, please do refer to them, refer us to them, so that we could probably reach out to them as well, because the Question Pro webinars, the part 1, part 2, part 3 webinars, they will still be continuing every week. If you guys have already attended the 3 parts of the webinar, you don't need to attend them again. But in case you have a certain doubts, then of course you can write to us on edu-india@questionpro.com. We'll be very happy to take your questions, particular, internship related questions or case studies, and help you guys out. So that's it from our side. Thank you so much everyone for having for attending the session today, and we will see you around. Thank you. Good night.